All right.
Tell me when you're on camera, because otherwise I don't know. When you're live.
I am live.
Okay.
Start the banter. Did you mute yourself already? Banter.
Oh, we're not mute. Banter. Okay.
We got to discover together. Got to listen together.
We gotta discover. Let's listen. Gotcha.
Yeah. JL brand. What are the hot cakes on the burner right now? We've got the leadership. Seems like a hot one right now. Audience. When we were talking about audience, fans, you were in an interesting place there with boundaries and risk.
Remind me, boundaries and risk and audience and fans.
There was, let me get this down a little bit. There was a new experiment with no filter. That was a different context, though.
It still applies.
Still applies. Yeah, that's a weird. Do you like green, by the way?
I love the green. Yeah, like the emerald. Yes.
Like like all these creative choices that would usually like slow down the flow. Like even the choice of vertical and horizontal pose their own trees of thought process and intent and art. Decisions. And then you got this question of sitting down or standing up, which pose their own trees of decisions and intent. And then the idea of putting a microphone in my hand opens up a different lane of performance and expectation. And so like without it, there is more intimacy, I feel, with sitting down and having a conversation with someone versus being on stage and talking to a wide array of people at once.
Yeah, definitely. I see that.
So by sitting down, there is a a level of intimacy that I am just talking to one person right now. But in practicing the stage, it's like imagining that there's an amphitheater here and I have to make myself a little bit bigger to reach the ones
Far back.
far back. And I'm like soaking in more audience data that way. Um, rather than intimate and like right here, I can feel the like whoosh, the widening, the opening of the chest to outward because
Performance.
right, performance in exploring the big presence. Like when you're having an intimate conversation with someone, you're you're not trying to be big. Like you're trying to be present. You're trying to listen. You're right here, and you're not you're is there's more of a care that you're kind of stripping away all the distance and the image and the performance, and it's more real. It's more intimate, and like I'm not performing because I'm just talking with you. But if I stand back and I go back to amphitheater and I'm like, okay, make my presence in this room as big as possible, big, 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 to where I'm taking away the glass wall between us. Right there's no difference between the virtual glass and us being in the same physical space together. Like, are you feeling that?
Yeah, definitely.
These are all like creative choices, like especially spontaneous, without plan, improvising, rolling it all the way back. Why am I here? Why did I push go on the YouTube live to go public to my followers, to my fans who are watching? Why am I here? And who is here?
I would say that's a different kind of level of intimacy to the fans that are not in your everyday world. They get to, when you press play or record and you are streaming live, that is a way for someone who is not normally or ordinarily in your everyday presence to get a chance to come into that realm, into that world, into the inner part that isn't seen. Otherwise, you're not seen. You're not seen out there.
Yeah, or it's async. They just see the posted ones or the comedy.
Right. Yes. But that is not intimate. Like, that's not intimate because you're not directly
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all like really strange experiments because other creators, performers, artists, they enjoy sharing their stuff. And I would even say to some extent, others enjoy to hear themselves talk just for the sake of talking. Like that's why they're so good at it, because they enjoy it with or without the fact that the red light is on. Uh, Whereas if I don't have anything to say, there is no point to speaking. Um, and if I get really deep on it, it's like, yeah, the reluctance to have a red light on that is capturing um, the the view, uh, tied to like old self-conscious uh, explode, like the self-conscious triggers that happen when you're being watched, because that's what the camera is signifying, like you are being watched. There's another eye here, and that's why the red light is the red light, because the you that turns on something, um, which is like it is performance. It's like that's you're turning on a performance, because you can go for the authenticity of intimacy and real and authentic communication and speaking your truth without being a character, but through the lens, everything is a character.
Mm-hmm.
uh
Mm-hmm.
it becomes entertainment, uh the moment it's through a lens, the moment it's captured through a camera. um it's like, yeah, the old aversion to that, or the fear of that, and like proving the courage and the fearlessness, I got through that. Like that's there. But if I'm not given anything to focus on, and it's just me and the camera and the that empty space, the empty dead air, I do find that difficult of expect, because there's such a people pleaser, old base of operation. It's like I put myself out there first to expect, what am I expected to do to perform here? How do I please people? How do, like,
Why? Well, why are you? I guess why are you asking that question? Like, why are you asking, how do I please people? Is it really about pleasing other people, or is it about making art?
making art? Mm-hmm. Oh, the overthinker wants to just latch onto that right away. The the blank page, because it's a lot of possibilities, especially with, well, I guess there are constraints, right? Like I'm sitting and this is the frame. Uh, and then I go to who am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? Who am I? Why am I here? What's my
Yeah.
what's my motivation?
Why is that question important to Why is that question important? And who is that question important to?
Seems like there needs to be a reason for me to open my mouth and let sound out.
Is that based on the fact that if you have no reason to talk, you wouldn't?
Exactly. Or have anything to respond to.
That's because because you are that's because you are most comfortable. That's how you work, is by responding.
Yeah.
And I wonder here in the space of the red light on and this question, is there really something that you are responding to and you just can't hear it right now?
Where am I locating my ear?
This is where I'm going to go to that open space of 5D and what comes in that wants to come out. Because on the surface right now, you're responding to the red light being on and feeling that intensity of, well, what do I say? Or why do I have this light on? This light is on and you're responding to it in a overthinker. Your overthinker wants to go. Why you're responding to that? But I want to know, if you listen, what is going to drop in from 5D that you could respond to.
So listen to 5D.
Or that once you're responding, yeah, listen to 5D. Don't forget about that critic and how fast it is. That, it started with the C. It's a judger, but it's also a. Choosing the right and wrong thing to say.
Hmm. It feels like potential and indecision.
Can you tell me what's shutting it down? What's shutting down just picking the first? If it's indecision, then there's choices. And what's shutting down a choice just falling out of the sky?
I don't know what the choices are. The best way that I could describe it is like muffled chatter. Because I mean, on one side of English, it's like almost quiet. There's nothing. If I'm looking for English, well, but on the other side,
What is that as a muscle?
focus,
Mechanic. Focus.
channeling, choosing. Listening? Attuning? Patience? It literally does not feel like I'm shutting anything down. That's the weird thing. But there is a gap. I've almost like a gap between energy and English. Because I mean, from a creative perspective, everything is possible. It's like if I were to go uh, letter by letter, what is there, 26 or, yeah, 26 letters in the English alphabet that makes words?
Mhm.
So it's almost like just for the first letter, there are 26 choices. For the first letter of the first word of the first sentence that I could speak, or that I could speak creatively. To assemble a
Mhm.
sentence,
Mhm.
to assemble a sentence, which is a set of words, are built upon a set of 26 letters. For the English language.
I'm curious how if this were role reversal right now and I were to say, Jeremy,
Mm-hmm.
on one side it's quiet, English side it's quiet,
Mm-hmm.
and on the other side it's just chatter, and I can't hear it. It's just chatter.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to me? How would you direct me through that?
I would ask what your aims are.
And then from there, what would you do?
Focus you into the art that you want to make.
All right. So
Like
I'm going to ask you,
aim,
what are your aims?
aim and intent. Right now, it's nothing. But that's a creative choice in and of itself.
Right.
Of context of like, why am I here?
Mm-hmm.
As people watch an
You being
overthinker overanalyzing,
that is art,
right?
right? I mean, isn't that the perfect portrayal of
Yeah,
everyday human?
right. This
That's
is
art.
meta AF. Yeah,
Exactly.
watching a
Exactly.
person struggle creatively as the art,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes. Oh, this is, yeah.
Giving an insight into the inner
So,
workings of an overthinker.
yes. So but if I didn't know what my aim was in overthinking land,
Yes.
where would I go? Like, how would I navigate the space if I didn't know what my aims were and all I heard was chatter and all the overthinking?
I guess I would run that back to passion. Uh, yeah. Do do painters know what they want to paint before they start painting? Do they have a picture in their head of the painting that they want to see on the canvas?
I'm sure some do, and I'm sure some don't.
Some don't, yeah. Because if like a live stream is a canvas over a z-axis, 30 frames per second, visually it's not changing that much. Well, maybe my facial expressions a little bit, but um, uh, this is mostly sound. It's sound. This is mostly a sound picture in terms of the canvas and the brush strokes that we're doing right now, that I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, movement is a part of that. But with this level of intimacy, it's coming through sound. I could sing, right, and entertain people that way. Hmm. Hmm. That's an interesting. I mean, almost if I were to respond that way, like the focus of responding feels like there's more heart because it's like I'm responding to someone's asking.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like all the excuse is on this listening side, I do not feel a lot of passion without something to say.
Did you ever know that about yourself before?
Not like this. Because if I'm like taking what I suggested, like running back to the passion of like a heart to sound, like rather than up through, it's like what does the heart want to say in this moment? And I don't feel a lot of passion to express because I have nothing to say. When I'm responding, there's something to say. When when there's a character and a situation, there's something to say. And that's where I get passionate because there's a reason to say it. But you strip all that away and I feel maybe the disconnect between passion and heart, where the intent is created, the reason, the aim, where I want to get to, how I want the canvas to look when I'm done, that takes passion to art.
Mm-hmm.
But the excuse is there's no passion yet. There's no passion to go that direction. Of course, I know I'm doing it on the other side of that, but I'm saying on the pure listening 5D drop-in, I don't feel the heart in that.
So, do you feel are you not able to feel the heart or the passion in just existing?
Oh yeah, just existing, that's not speaking with a camera.
What is the difference between existing and existing on camera?
Bringing something down to say.
Because that is a rule.
That's the challenge. Or test.
Do you always have to say something when you're on camera?
No, I don't have to.
And funny how loud the silence just of the presence is right now.
What change? I don't. What are you reading?
Well, I can hear the energetic sounds going off, and they're louder than they were just a second ago. And you can feel the enormity of this space of this session, of this artful session. You can feel the enormity.
More so now?
Yeah.
Something shifted.
Yeah.
When we took away the expectation.
Yeah.
Or the rule or the test, the trial.
And you got it's almost as if your neurotic overthinker left and you were just present.
Well, that's easy.
I don't have to.
That's the easy part, though. That's
so.
I mean, if that counts, you know, I could. That's the easy part. What does that make sound and words then? Those are colors?
Cherries on top.
Yeah.
Sprinkles. Yeah.
And so language is the using the keys on the keyboard of these sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Playing piano is the craft here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an instrument. tuning the instrument, using the instrument. I don't have to use the instrument. And when I'm responding, I'm a much better, I can play the instrument. It's like if I'm responding, I know what song to play, and I can play very well when when I know what song I'm playing. I'm really good at using language. I mean, I'm not a Jim
Yes.
Cornette, like I'm not a great talker, but I'm getting better at playing the
Yes.
instrument of my voice. I've gotten a lot better, let's say, at
Yes.
playing the instrument of my voice. So what are we pointing at here?
You're pointing at you are very good when you know the song, but when there's no, like the improving of just playing notes just to play notes and put them together,
Yes.
you are not so good at that yet.
Right.
Or you feel like you need to know the song in order to play the instrument, and you don't
Right.
enjoy the improv yet.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because if someone like me were to sit in front of a piano, I could do this, but I have no idea what I'm doing, and I have no idea how to assemble one note after the other in a way that sounds like music.
Mm-hmm.
But you tell me to press this, and I can follow directions.
Right.
But I don't know the fundamentals, and I don't know what the keys are, and I really have no training to know how to assemble keys together. So I just end up going like a kid. Because there is a safety to responding because I know what keys to press.
Exactly. You know what keys
I
to
know
press.
what keys to press.
This is the comfortableness of you not knowing the keys to press and being that innocent kid just hitting keys on the keyboard.
Which is noise, not music. And I don't want to make noise because that's bad art. It's not music.
What a conundrum.
Right. But there's something there is something there of like Mozart didn't just go up, well maybe, well let's go with it. Just didn't go up blank slate and without a piece of paper uh, uh music note like sheet music without a sheet.
Music sheet. Yep.
Didn't just go like right off the bat. Maybe one little oh that sounded like a like bit by bit, like he didn't just compose a symphony like blank slate like without writing it down or hearing what happens when you put this with this with this. He probably was good at like hearing it like a b, like he has that ability, right? But like that's like the perfectionism, I would say, is if I'm expecting a composed sheet music improved, that's going to tighten shit up, isn't it?
That's what we talked about the other day, that thing, that fast
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And you were like, "This is why I'm not good at it. Wasn't good at improv before."
Yeah, I
What do
mean,
we call that thing?
a filter?
Yeah, the filter.
Filter. Yeah, you have the fear of making mistakes, the fear of sucking.
Mhm.
uh, Having to know what it's going to be before you say it.
Mhm.
But even in improv, you're given a scene and or a character. You're given asking the audience, give us a situation. Like there is some nudge to start it, like in improv. And we're even subtracting that out of the equation.
Yeah, to a degree, but basically, I did say sit in front of the camera and speak.
Exactly. That's what. But
Yeah.
in an improvisation stage, at minimum, they get a situation from the audience. They have a game they're playing. They have
Hmm.
a character motivation. They have a conflict that they're starting. They get a starting position in improv.
I think we have a starting position.
Do we?
Yeah. Our starting position is overthinker, perfectionist, sitting in front of a camera who is overthinking what to say on camera.
On camera. Well, then, performance well done. I've delivered. Because that could be a silent film based off of what you see. What, because film is like the close up of very minuscule facial movements and like so. If I've been transparent, you've seen a lot of gears. You've seen a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
layers. You've seen a lot of neurotic here in the nonverbal, in the mental space. How do you subtract? It feels so enticing. Like I want it.
You want what?
I want to improv
Mm.
uh, and make music without a sheet. But I'm even like but I'm feeling the expectation there, the perfectionism.
How do you subtract that?
Where's the shame?
Indeed. Where is it?
Because I can't see it. I can't see it.
Is it really there if you can't see it?
If perfectionism is here, then yes, but it's hidden. That's what it says. There's a fear control. Loosening the grip.
Yeah, where is the fear?
The fear that if I don't know where I'm going, I don't know where I'm going to end up. To be so present with each syllable, you're forced to lose track of where you started, where you're coming from, and you're in the dark about where you're going. But you have to reside right here with each new discovery. Not knowing letting go of control, not knowing how good or bad the art is. Because you're not allowed to look forward, you're not allowed to look back when you're improvising. And I don't have a lot of feedback here. But I'm getting the flavor of where this is when the control is taken away. I have to be much more in tune with the cadence, with the vibrational frequency of where I'm coming from. Because that's all I got to hang on to. I can't leave this space. Because it's only right here that I am present with the music, with the beats. And I feel the roller coaster. And it feels, it does make me feel weird and disoriented because something else is driving the cart right now that I am not in control of, but I'm in the musical swings of the dance with. And for an overthinker and for a perfectionist who hates this feeling with all of his ever so loving resistance and hesitance and distaste and pure, unadulterated. It's right there. It's tried to insert itself right there. Tried to find the perfect word, but I lost it. But that was just another beat of the song. Because I just have to come back to where I am in the track. Not the last track, not the next track, this track. This is where it's at. There's no other carts. beat by beat by beat by beat. Saying fuck you to the perfectionist. And
So now, ladies and gentlemen,
and the one that automatically inserts inadequacy into everything that falls through. That makes, without knowing the past or the future, automatically makes what's being said not enough and terrible art. Just by the very fact that just because there's no form, there's no finished work, automatically assumes that it's bad art. Automatically assumes that it's shit. Which makes anything that comes out of my mouth shit. So I'm from that perspective, I'm literally painting with shit. And so no wonder there's nothing to say because it's all shit.
it's a big discovery there.
Just a little bit. But given the subtraction of all that and the self-awareness versus the self-conscious and the esteem, the high caliber belief in oneself, maybe I can actually take a little bit of enjoyment that my vocal instrument is not just noise, but it's music. And maybe I can indulge like other people do in the joy of hearing their own voice. And at that, I bid you adieu. See you in the next one.